The effort to call out companies for dropping their diversity initiatives has some new momentum. This week, we learned that Target CEO will step down on February 1st. He's not going too far, he's going to be the executive chairman. But Target cites tariffs as a big headwind for the company, which is why they needed a change at the top. But the organizers of a black led boycott of the retailer, they say that it's their effort that's sparking change, and they're not satisfied. Latasha Brown, Corey Ruth, and Dr. Jamal Bryant are back with us. You are the leader of the, initially it was the Target Fast and became this boycott after the Lenten season. Your reaction to this shift, I'll call it, because it's not really a resignation, just moving from one job to another. What's your reaction?
They're playing musical chairs on the Titanic. The COO is now the CEO, and the CEO is now chair of the board. So there is no shift of policy or perspective. It's just a PR stunt. It's disappointing, and at this point, after they've lost $12 billion in valuation, the stock continues to stumble. We're now asking for the shareholders to say, when are you going to stop the bleeding? We're going to raise it up a notch and ask people to start deleting their Target app. So they'll be able to feel it in their database. They're already feeling it in the pocketbooks. If it was just about tariffs, then Costco would be suffering, and they are not. It is a direct connection to what has happened from this movement of conscientious people around the country who are saying enough is enough.
Before you jump in here, Corey, let me read the demands. $2 billion to honor their $2 billion pledge to black businesses.
Let me pause you.
Yes.
That was a pledge they made.
Yes.
Not because of the boycott, not because of the fast.
Yes.
They said it after George Floyd and have not honored it. They were supposed to give us receipts by July 31st and haven't done it.
You haven't received those.
Yes.
Because after the end of the boycott, the fast is the boycott, you said that they were willing to do that.
Yes.
They didn't accomplish that.
Yes.
Deposit $250 million into black-owned banks, establish retail centers at HBCUs, and of course restore their DEI commitments. Corey, you told my producer that you're actually pretty critical of this boycott because of the inability to achieve the desired outcomes, and you say it lacks precision. Explain that.
Yeah, I think we can't underestimate the impact of the structural challenges that Target has, right? During COVID, a lot of retailers restructured and diversified their supply chains, and they also reshored inventory. Target seems to be left flat-footed while we're going through a economic transformation that's being driven by the Trump tariffs. So yeah, Costco's not hurting because Costco started making those changes during COVID. Right now, over 50% of Target's inventory is imported, and that's not true of Walmart even. And so the other thing that they haven't done very well is respond to Walmart's competitive push. So
but that's a different question. I'm having the conversation about the effectiveness of the boycott, and you've said that it lacks precision. And so what is the critique of the boycott?
My critique is this, that right now we as African Americans put a lot of attention on what we're not getting. And what we are failing to do is brand around us what we are doing. And so since 1940, for instance, black home ownership growth has grown by over 100%, 60% faster than white home ownership. Our wealth growth is outpacing white wealth growth by 4 times. But we spend more time talking about DEI and talking about things that we're not doing. Right now, black male income is equal to white male income when you account for.
That's not true.
Okay,
not true.
let me finish. When you account for region, industry, and experience, it absolutely does. They make 2 cents more per dollar.
Black men make more than white men.
That's a pay scale study. That's not a Corey Ruth study.
That's not true.
That is absolutely true.
The net worth of the average black family is not even $5,000 in the case of the emergency.
Absolutely, I don't disagree with you
We're headed
on that.
towards by 2030 zero net worth. We are running behind. We have less home ownership now than we did when Dr. King was assassinated in 1968.
That's not
300,000 black women have been terminated since April because of the rollbacks of DEI. The numbers and the data that Corey is giving is absolutely unfounded and has absolutely no merit. Black people are dealing with poverty in an abject way, and we're going to see it more pronouncedly when the big ugly bill goes into full effect.
No, black poverty has dropped. In 1968, 60% of blacks were at or below the poverty line. Today, that's less than 17%. That is the fastest reduction in poverty in human history, behind only China. And that is the story
not
that we
true.
need to be telling.
Let me get
It's
Latasha.
their
But the
story.
manipulation of the numbers. Like you can
Yes.
take data and tell whatever story you want. The fact that you got to go all the way back to 1968, you're skipping over the Reagan years. You're skipping over the years in the 90s where there was mass incarceration. You're skipping over the fact that that black women make 60% less than white men. You're skipping over the fact that there's a study that talks about literally the road to poverty, that this study to zero wealth, that by 2050, that they're expecting black households to have zero wealth and that white households will have 122,000 in assets. While that is not a lot of money in itself, 122,000 is far much more than zero.
Let me, Pastor, I just want you, because we got to wrap it here. If you could quickly respond to the critique that your protest, that the boycott lacks precision.
It is absolutely precise. Black people spend $12 million a day, so we're asking precisely for $250 million. When Corey claims these numbers from the 60s, we had 100 black banks. Now we only have 27. We're asking precisely for us to get $2 billion back into black community because we're absent. The big, beautiful bill that his party represents is going to show that contrast because we don't have insurance, don't have Medicaid, don't have Medicare. Who is going to be impacted when SNAP no longer provides free lunch in public schools? It is minorities. So it is a precise ask.
We got to wrap it there. Dr. Jamal Bryant, Latasha Brown, Corey Ruth, thank you all for coming in.